Hey, I'm back with another review. This time, we're going to do things a little bit differently than before, mainly because this board is very, very similar to its predecessor. And so, this is going to be a review of the ADV 2. This board can go up is freaking bonkers. Alright. Because of its similarities to the ADV, I'm just going to adjust the pros and cons to reflect the changes to this board over the ADV. So the changes of the pros from my other video from the ADV, if you want to look at that one, is we're going to talk a little bit about the power. The power of this board has actually gone up. I'm going up something right now that's steeper than the other one probably would have had a hard time handling, and it made it up a lot easier. Those are some big crows anyway. So the low end torque, or the power, or the low end power, has gone up. The second pro I want to talk about is the range. So there is an adjustment in range on the ADV 2. So I wanted to talk about that and how it affects the ride. So it definitely goes up. I want to say with my testing so far, about 5 to 10%. I don't know if that's what's indicated there, but yeah. Sorry, I'm just testing the power on something that I would have never made it up with the ADV 1, and this is nuts. So power's nuts. That was super steep. And then the range increase is nice, even though I don't find myself using all that range. It is nice to have that extra range. That leak. All right, so now I want to talk about the cons of the board. And again, like I was telling you before, we're just adjusting from the ADV review on this. And the cons I had on the ADV review, and my biggest one, was the BMS safety. And now that all the kinks have been ironed out with the ADV 2, with the launch issues, I want to say that those BMS issues are completely gone. The BMS safety issues completely gone. We can now see the cells. It won't just shut you down on a cell that might dip too low or anything like that. Everything is really good thanks to the community that helped Tony on this one. And then I want to talk about another con that I'm going to remove, and that one is the board setup. So the board setup came basically as is. I had to make it 2 adjustments personally for myself, and one of the settings that they had sent out that was incorrect, but I'm sure that it won't be incorrect on the future ones. So the board setup was basically put the motor in and it's ready to go. Now that's more than some people would like, but to be honest, I think it's actually a good thing, because a lot of riders may just want to switch their tire right away. So with the motor being out already, easy just to swap the tire as soon as you get the board. Granted, for newer riders, this tire is actually really good, and shouldn't be no complaints from a newer rider. So in conclusion, with the changes to the board, this is the ADV platform still, even though it's the ADV2. With the changes to the power, the quite drastically increased power, slightly increased range, about $1,000 more on the price. Instead of $2,200, I think I said, it went up to about $3,200 now if you order it at its minimum amount. And with the removal of the cons from the BMS safety and the board setup, I want to give this board a solid 9 out of 10. Well done, Floatwheel, and thanks to the community that made the changes to the firmware that needed on the BMS.